Welcome back to Living East Tennessee. Well, he's using the stars to guide others through their step and journey in life. And joining today to share more about his journey as an astrologer is Noah. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Amber. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I'm so excited about this topic. So tell me all about it.
Okay, so what do you want to know first? Like how astrology works?
Yeah, how does it work? How does it work? Because, you know, we're all like reading our horoscopes and different things along those lines. But I think to the nitty gritty of it. Yeah.
All right, so the first thing, and I covered this a couple years ago when I was here, is that for me, astrology is not science. Now, there are some astrologers who do consider it to be scientific, and that's totally fine. They have their arguments. But for me, it's more of a spiritual exercise or spiritual discipline. In fact, and some astrologers might be bothered by this, but I like to think of astrology as a religion in some ways, because there are so many different ways of relating to the cosmos. And there's so many different religions. And if you find the one that speaks to you, that's fine. In fact, within the regime of astrology itself, there are like so many different ways of doing it. And they don't all look the same. So that's kind of like the different sects of religion, like baptism or Methodist or whatever.
Absolutely.
So that's like a general review. But how it works in Western astrology is really, it's a function of the seasons. So the signs are not determined by the constellations in Western astrology.
Interesting.
There's no 13th constellation in Western astrology. There's no 13th sign, I mean. There are 12 signs, and they're determined by where the sun is at the beginning of spring, summer, fall, and winter.
Wow.
And from there, it just kind of, you know, explodes into many areas of life.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But we should probably get into Saturn and Neptune before we run out of time.
This is very interesting. You've been telling me about this off camera, and I'm here to learn all, because we have a full moon tonight. Is that correct?
There is a full moon in Capricorn, that's true.
Yeah, very interesting.
But I'm not going to talk about the full moon. I'm going to talk about Saturn and Neptune.
Okay.
So Saturn and Neptune are two big planets far away, and about every 35 years or so, they will conjoin. They will come together. Now, they'll be together for a couple of years, so this isn't an overnight thing like the full moon. But since it's so rare, it like has a lot of energy associated with it, especially this time since it's in Aries. They're conjoining in Aries, which is a sign that's explosive. You can think of Aries as the sign that energizes the Big Bang.
Okay.
Like what's behind the Big Bang in the universe?
Right.
Something really energetic. That's Aries.
Okay.
So taking the planets one at a time, Saturn, it represents structure, boundaries, discipline. But you can overdo those things, and it can look like constriction or like working too much, for instance.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Neptune is very different. It represents imagination, visions, and like even like eternal love, like the big kind of love, divine love. Yeah. Those can also be overdone and look like delusions of grandeur or martyrdom or like just things kind of falling apart.
Absolutely. That's so interesting.
So when those two things get together, those two different themes combine.
Wow.
And that's pretty much all this year, much of last year and much of next year. So how much time do we have left?
So we probably got 2 minutes left.
Oh, that's a lot.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
How does that affect us when we think about an energetic
So it depends on what your birth chart looks like. So everyone has their birth chart based on like a snapshot of the sky when they were born. And what I'm going to be giving you in the next segment is the 12 horoscopes for each rising sign.
Yeah. Okay.
So first, let's just briefly cover what a sign is.
Absolutely.
A sign is an area of the sky that is determined by, like I said, the seasons. So there's a bunch of stars associated with each area of the sky. When you were born, some of the stars, that area of the sky was rising up over the eastern horizon. That's your rising sign.
So interesting.
Yeah, like corresponds with you being birthed into the world on the horizon of your own life.
That is so interesting.
So what you need to know to really like, when I give the 12 horoscopes, you only need to pay attention to one of them. The one that corresponds to your rising sign.
Okay, so that's, because we've been over this before, because I'm a Leo, but I'm a rising Virgo.
That's right. So when I get to the Virgo part, that's the part that pertains to you. The other parts you can ignore.
Okay,
yeah.
That is so interesting to me, and there's so much to explore, and I think this is such a self-exploratory thing as well, to learn more about yourself, or just a way to understand a lot of who you are.
Yeah, it's relating the cosmos via the planets to your own personal life, and you can talk about any area of your life that you want to with astrology. And it's very personal to you. It's not like the statements I make, I have to make them for everyone, like a billboard. but you have to personalize them, and you can let them land any way that feels appropriate to you. If it like really resonates, great. If it feels like it's not quite right, that's okay. Just let it seep in on its own terms.
Absolutely. Well, I cannot wait to go over the 12 signs when we come back. This is so interesting. It's very great information as well. But we're going to have a lot of good fun with it. All right. Welcome back to Living East Tennessee. We're back with Noah, and we're talking about the stars. So let's talk about the signs that we all know and love.
Okay, so if you don't know your rising sign, then you can find it on astro.com. You just put in your birth details, or you can go to any of the number of apps and put in your birth details and get your rising sign. Now, this is not your sun sign. If you have always identified as like a Taurus, for example, and that's all you know about astrology, I'm not talking about that.
Okay.
You have to put in your birth details and get your rising sign. That's what's coming up. That's like if you look at your chart, your birth chart, it's on the left of your birth chart.
Okay, left of your birth chart.
That's the first house, that's your rising sign. So if you don't know it, go find it out. Okay, so we're going to go through all 12 zodiac signs, starting with Aries, because that's where the conjunction, the Saturn-Neptune conjunction is happening.
Okay.
So this is like it's all about Aries, really. So this is a huge time for you this whole year and next year. And it's basically, it could look like a complete dissolution of your personality. Now I'm going to over dramatize things a little bit, and you don't have to take them too much to heart, but I like to speak dramatically. For some people, they will actually like feel that, right? So if you dissolve your personality, what do you have to do? You have to build a new one. So take your time and build a new one. That's okay. I mean, it's good to change.
Yeah.
We don't fear change.
No.
Do we?
We can.
Do you fear change? I fear change sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes I think it's, nerve-wracking to think, this is the unknown, but until we jump into the unknown, we can't grow.
Yeah, exactly. So like let yourself grow by letting your old self kind of dissipate a little bit if you're Aries rising. So if you're Pisces rising, then this is really about your self-esteem. Make sure that you get your self-assurance from inside you and don't too much validate yourself from others. Okay. And as you do that, you might find that your ability to attract money is actually aided.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. If you're Aquarius rising, how you think about the world itself, outside of yourself, directly affects how you experience, like who you think you are in the world. So for instance, are you Neo in the Matrix? Well, just constantly kind of question your own narrative. So that you don't just think you know what the world is all the time.
Absolutely.
Now, number 4, if you're Capricorn rising, the face that you show the world is really kind of coming from how you are at your home, in your home life. So this is a good time to, for example, this whole year to like redesign your home life. And that will be reflected in how you live in the world outside of your home.
Okay. I love that.
All right, number 5, Sagittarius rising. You know, we get so stuck in routines that we forget how to we can neglect our inner child. So make sure you play, go on more dates.
Yeah, that's so much fun. I love that one.
Scorpio rising, you really want to make sure you take care of your health and exercise regularly, but you have to find a kind of exercise that inspires you so that when you go to do it, you don't have to like make yourself do it. You just want to do it.
Oh, I love that.
You know, whether that's like kung fu or playing tennis, whatever excites you, do that exercise.
Okay, I love that.
But it is important to take care of your health.
Okay.
If you're Scorpio rising.
Absolutely.
Now, Libra rising, this is one of the toughest. It's all about personal relationships. So you don't want to sacrifice your own self to please others, but you also don't want to burn bridges.
Absolutely.
Unless it's like fulfilling some higher calling.
Interesting.
So healthy boundaries are the key.
Ooh, love that one.
And there's a lot of Libra rising folks. Statistically, it's like one of the most common rising signs.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Now, this is your sign coming up.
All right.
Virgo rising.
All right.
You're actually in a specific time in life for about a year where you want to release old patterns of how you are in the world. And unlike Libra rising, where you want to be careful of interactions, you actually want to promote like bonding with somebody to help you aid in that process.
That makes
It could be
total
one
sense.
person, it could be other, several people, but it's all about bonding emotionally and like intimately with people.
Okay, I love that. I can totally identify with that too.
Cool.
I love that.
Now we got Leo rising. So you're really good at living from the heart naturally. So just keep doing that, but you might find that your precious beliefs like start to crumble, and you'll
Right.
have to rebuild those belief systems.
Absolutely, yeah. And I know that we have a couple more signs. We'll definitely go over those on
we out of
Instagram.
time?
Yeah, we're out of time,
Aw.
but we're going to go over those on social media,
Okay.
and you can check him out right there on your website on the screen right there. And definitely, he is awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
find out
you.
more over on his website and check it out over on our social media.